How are you? I'm Chill.
Vern, and Becca. And you know what?
We have to talk about
physical therapy
Occupational therapy.
and speech-language pathology.
Join us on our 5th episode of Rehab to Talk.
The award-winning podcast series about the rehabilitation team.
Brought to you by the Medical City Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation.
Here we doff the scrubs,
Come together to discuss relevant topics to rehabilitation.
And take interprofessional collaboration out of the clinic and into the studio.
Today, we are so honored to have with us one of our loveliest doctors.
A physiatrist since 2014.
our superwoman rehab doctor, Dr. Christy Ann Quilino.
Woo! Welcome,
Welcome, Doctora.
You look amazing and
Thank
so
you for
beautiful.
having me. And congratulations on your
Oh my
podcast.
gosh.
Galing.
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you
Thanks.
so much. And welcome here, Doctora, to our studio. And welcome back, everyone, to our 5th episode of Rehab to Talk. And yes, it's an all-women episode.
Ooh.
For one of two things we are celebrating this month. Happy International Women's Month.
Yay! For the past few years, we've had 4 episodes so far talking about disabilities, delirium, dysphagia, and cerebral palsy. And we've engaged with our audience for live Q&As. Pero wait, Becca, did I just hear you say award-winning podcast?
Did I say that? Yes! This wonderful extracurricular project of ours was honored by the Philippine Academy of Rehabilitation Medicine, PARM, this February 23rd, 2025. So to PARM, thank you so much again for this award and for the support for furthering rehabilitation's role in the Philippines. We are so honored. Thank you, PARM.
Thank you so much.
And this year, of course, we want to continue this beautiful program and discuss current trends in rehabilitation and, of course, still engage with our audience in significant ways. Starting with this month's topic for awareness, traumatic brain injuries.
So now, we all know how it goes, diba? The first way to remove confusion about anything, define it. Kailangan ng label. So, Doc, what is traumatic brain injury or
Okay,
TBI?
Traumatic brain injury is a result of an external force to the head, no, affecting the brain and its functions. No?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Doc, traumatic brain injury, for our audiences out there, ano bang usual causes ng TBI?
Yeah, most common causes of TBI are falls, no, transportation accidents, including whiplash, no, and sports injuries. As well as mga assault or violence.
Okay.
You mentioned whiplash. What is that? For the audience who doesn't really know, ano po
Ano yung whiplash?
It's an deceleration injury, like
Yeah.
the car, even when you're wearing a seatbelt, no?
Even when.
Gaganyan siya, tapos gaganon. So,
okay.
parang,
Yung
whiplash
fast na
yung-
dun sa neck.
yeah.
That can all...
yeah.
It can happen from that pala. And in the news today, it's so unfortunate that we hear a lot of motor vehicular accidents and
Yeah.
sports injuries. And so, Doctora, what are the symptoms that we can expect or should look out for when this happens?
Okay, symptoms of brain injury depend on the location of the damage, no?
Okay. Yeah.
So, if it's, kunyari frontal, no? So, it's yung executive functioning niya,
Yeah.
no? And if it's a deeper structures naman, no? It can affect emotions, behavior, tas yung memory loss, no? So, we can classify, no? Brain TBI into 3 categories, no? It's mild TBI or concussion, moderate and severe, no? For mild TBI, which is the most common, no, yung concussion, no, the patient may experience, no, just headache, no,
Okay.
dizziness, no, pwedeng nausea and vomiting, no, it can be blurring of vision, no, or mga mood swings na parang new onset, no, pwede yun, no. So usually with mild TBI, no, yung mga CT scans, no, and neuroimaging are normal, walang findings.
Oh,
That's so surprising.
Yeah. For moderate and severe naman, of course, may mas physical disability talaga na longer period of unconsciousness kung meron man, no? Persistent na headache and pwedeng loss of coordination, saka decreased yung mobility na nila. So,
Yeah.
pwedeng unresponsive na sila, may seizure, no? So, yon. So, kailangan ng immediate medical attention for that,
wow.
no? So, marami siyang, kumbaga, we cannot define it as just ito lang siya.
Yeah,
Dapat, yon, yung common misconception is that you have to lose consciousness, no, for you to have TBI, but hindi ganon.
That's
And
not
most of
always
the
the case.
cases, most of the cases, out of, hindi siya na-admit, no, kasi nga mga mild ano lang. Pero
just
yon,
walk it
may,
off.
yes.
I'm so surprised to hear that mild is the most common.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Pero question, Doc, with mild, like let's say concussion, for our audiences out there, when they get parang traumatic brain injury na untog sila, pero they're fine. Walang loss of consciousness, hindi sila hinimatay, okay lang sila. Kailangan ba nilang pumunta na kaagad sa ER to just have it checked or
If you experience a fall or may car accident, no, involved in a car accident, no, seek immediate help. Lalo na pag yung headache, for example, mga non-specific symptoms, they become more persistent, no? Tapos,
It could
tapos
worsen
worsening headache, tapos
Yeah.
may nausea and vomiting na, no? So, yon, very important na ma-assess na and ma-evaluate, no?
Yeah, so that's very
Within
good to say that kailangan with every incident have yourself get checked. But so for those who might be a little scared na pupunta ako sa doctor just for something like na ano lang,
okay
nauntog
naman
lang.
ako.
Yeah.
How is TBI diagnosed?
So, the doctor will have some, of course, a comprehensive physical and neurological assessment will be done, no? Certain tests, such as CT scan and MRI, no? And yung mga neurocognitive and mga psychological tests will be done as well.
Okay, so it will be very holistic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think is with TBI being so sometimes rampant in like those in the younger population, or saan mas madaming cases of TBI, sa
So, mas
younger or
common-
older?
Yeah, mas common siya sa younger, like age 0 to 4.
Oh,
But
so young.
meron din siyang sa elderly, na 75 pataas because of falls, diba?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
then, common din siya sa ages mga 15 to 24 kasi motor accidents, remember I told you,
Yeah.
motor
Yeah.
accidents and
Okay.
falls, yung pinaka-common.
Yeah.
Two of the most common causes of
Naku.
brain injury.
That's why everyone
no?
should be at every age, at every age on the spectrum, dapat there should be care, there should
Yeah.
be like in how, kasi one little incident
Yeah.
could actually lead to a more permanent damage, right? So
All of us are at risk for having
Yes.
all of us.
So,
are.
yeah.
Yes.
So it pays to be very careful, and so I think that's all for
Yeah.
definition, right?
Yeah, and I think that it's really so informative, no, to listen to Doc and to understand how broad traumatic brain injuries are, both in their symptoms and in their causes,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
population.
It's not just one thing, no?
Yeah.
Na parang,
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
syempre, it is something to be looked into, especially kung may change, sudden change, dun sa person na naka-experience. Pero,
That's
it's not always yung mga napapanood sa teleserye na,
Yes,
ano
it's
na
not always
kaagad,
the
yung
same.
severe or
Okay,
moderate.
yeah.
Minsan, concussion lang. And like,
Yeah.
But you have to take it seriously, kahit na mild TBI.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Take it seriously.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Doc, for that very helpful and comprehensive discussion on
sure.
TBI. And now that we've defined it, we're going to talk about TBI as a team, right? As an
Yes.
OT, as a PT, as a speech therapist.
So we all have roles to play
Right.
in the recovery and return to daily life. Syempre, 'di ba, may mga sudden changes nga or even those little symptoms na persisting na hindi yun yung usual nila. So for those who underwent brain injuries, so how do we do this best as rehab professionals? So
I think it's time that we give the floor back to our physiatrist.
Okay.
we're going to ask a lot of questions while Doc is here. We're learning so much. So,
Yes.
Doctor, and before we call any of these other services for treating patients with brain injuries, what do you consider first, and what do you consider when you refer to us?
So, first, we assess the patient for any physical, cognitive, and neurological impairments, no? So, is the patient medically stable, no?
Yeah.
Can we move the patient? Because remember, di ba, kung car accident yan, hindi lang brain yung damage.
Yes.
Pwedeng may fracture yan, pwedeng spinal cord injury patient din yan, no?
my.
So, syempre, we assess them first, no? We check for functional limitations, no? Loss of strength, no? Balance problems, no? Speech and language difficulties. So, I'm sure, kumbaga, speech ang ano dyan. You'll take care of our patients na may speech and communication and language impairments, no? And of course, yung activities of daily living. Again, in the context of if admitted ba yung patient or is not patient. So, kung mild lang siya, most of the time, walang physical injuries na involved.
Okay. So, when you do goal setting, what is the thing that you have to, for each of us, you give us rehab orders. So, what is your parang your parameter in setting these goals?
First of all, syempre we set realistic goals.
Realistic goals.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. So it all depends on the body's, the patient's response to trauma. Like kunyari, hindi siya makagalaw, diba? So
right.
we have to move the patient. So ganda.
Yan yung talaga ang nauuna. And really, the first service that a lot of rehab med refer to when it's TBI is the physical therapist.
Yes.
So now the floor goes to you. Here's the floor.
Thank you for the
Take the
floor.
Yes, and what? So please let us know and the audience know, what do PTs, physical therapists, do with patients with traumatic brain injuries?
So, I guess we would need to go back sa sinabi ni Doktora na parang ano yung current level nila ngayon. Usually kasi, if it's mild TBI, like what Doktora said, general conditioning lang. As in, general exercises. Syempre, as a physical therapist, very big kami on movement. And with TBI or traumatic brain injury, dahil nga nade-disrupt yung functioning ng brain mo, one of the best ways to go back to your daily living is to return to what you used to do before. So kung kaya mo naman maglakad, in-order ka agad nila Doc.
Yeah, for mild TBI kasi, remember, they have parang mood swings, no?
That's right.
Tapos sleep disturbances. So, exercise, no?
Yeah,
It's very important. So, aerobic exercises will help, no?
It
So,
helps regulate din talaga yung if they have sleep disturbances, parang getting that exercise in will actually help the patient sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Kasi pinapagod namin. And then, syempre, so that's for mild TBI, no? And then for more of moderate severe, syempre, still promoting movement, pero baka may more assistance na from us. So, if it's really severe, baka kami yung gagalaw for the patient or medyo instructed. Ayun, very big on TBI patients is kung how you instruct them. I think you both know this. Parang some of them, they do well with yung typical instruction lang. Mag-explain ka pa and everything. Pero some, better kung one word. Or up,
Modeling.
down, ganun. Or ipapakita mo kung hindi sila nagfo-follow ng instructions. So, again, sobrang broad talaga ng TBI.
Super.
Lalo kung nararamdaman kung gaano siya ka-broad na topic. Pero, so, as a PT, big on movement, syempre, we don't want, yung moderate to severe TBI na hindi makagalaw, katulad sinabi ni Doktora, we don't want them getting other conditions. Halimbawa, pag hindi nakagalaw, baka magka-bed sores, or baka lalong manghina. So, those poses more problems na that could delay recovery even more. And ayaw natin yun. Kung kaya natin sila, kung naka-confine sila, gusto natin sila ma-discharge as soon as possible.
Always.
So, ano talaga, movement, and then, syempre, maximizing functional mobility. That's one of the things that we do as physical therapists. So, kung kaya maglakad ni patient on their own, go. Kung medyo unstable, baka with the doctor's orders, mag-i-aid na magturo
Mobility
ng
aid, yeah.
assistive devices. Pero sometimes tricky thing din, kung nako-confuse sila kung paano gamitin yung assistive device. So we gauge based on what the patient needs. And then, sinasabi din namin kay
Yeah.
Doc na parang, Doc, baka hindi effective sa kanya yung itong device, baka better tong device. Kasi nako-confuse siya dito, ito yung nakasanayan niya. So on and so forth. And then, syempre, yun, going back to functional mobility, yung maximal na functional mobility na kaya ng patient, maximize talaga. Kung kaya niya na siya. Kung kailangan niya ng help, saka kami papasok. Pero, very, promoting independence talaga as much as possible. Especially if, prior to the injury, independent siya.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, another thing, syempre, nag-enter din yung environment modification. So, I guess with TBI, na realize ko as I keep on talking right now, yung importance ng education. Na,
sure.
although we do want them to go back to their usual day-to-day, dahil nga na-disrupt yung brain function, sometimes, baka, may onting steps to just get there. Pero we'll get there kung yun yung part ng goal, kung achievable siya. So, ayun, PT, mobilization, functional mobility, movement, and then environment modification if needed. Ang dami kong sinabi.
Galing talaga ng PT. Galing talaga ng PT. So true.
Pero
Namin yung ginagawa. Oh my goodness.
Kasi we move the patients, but we move them the safest way possible.
Yes,
diba?
of course,
It's important
of course.
yun, na parang kung mobility
Of
aid,
course.
kung ano yung, kung may, even if malakas siya, pero pangit yung balance, no? So, syempre, magbibigay tayo ng more stable assistive device. No? Yeah.
So, I think sa dami ng mga sinabi ko, may common thing kasi kami, and I'm looking at her right now.
Yes.
May common thing kami with the management of TBI. So, I think, Ma'am Chill, how about occupational therapists? How do patients with injuries gain functional independence then? And
That's such a, we love those two words together, like functional independence. I'll add one more, maximal functional independence.
Oy.
That's what OTs really target for.
we love it too. We love it
I'm thinking,
too.
what can I add kayo to that?
With patients with TBI, it mild, moderate, or severe, there's realistically only a certain level of functional independence that we can hope for or aspire to. And that one will hopefully, with guidance and counseling, will hopefully increase and improve, another important thing, quality of life after the incident. So, how do we as OTs do that? We look at two different things. We look at the physical, the symptoms. So there's spasticity. We do neurodevelopmental techniques on how to regain back the function of the affected side or the arm. There's always limitations in range of motion, and we look at it functionally because there's limited range of motion in elbow flexion. Ito, pagtupi ng siko, hindi na siya, or she cannot bring the spoon to mouth. So what can we do about that? So we help the patient kind of maneuver different assistive devices or different compensatory techniques on how to do that thing that they want to do and that they need to do. Yeah, those are very different things, right? Kasi like prior to, like what you said, Ma'am Vern, prior to the incident, they were independent. They were already living their lives as I'm going to say human beings in their activities of daily living, in their leisure activities, and for the children, play, for the adults, work, for our elderly, more older adults, leisure.
Yeah.
I'd like to hope that our elderly are doing more physical leisure tasks than just watching
Yeah.
TV.
We hope so too.
Yes. And so, and so, like, for all of that, we want to help you get back to that in the safest way possible, in the most independent way possible. Kasi we understand, like, there is also that emotional burden. Like, I kaya ko to dati. And now, I have to depend on this
Yeah.
this unfamiliar lady to do my toileting. I have to depend on my brother for even just turning around in the bed. So we, even if, let's say, for the moderate and severe, we cannot totally understand them, but we can kind of assume that there is a level of understanding. I think it was in one of our episodes that we talked to them as if we assume that they can understand.
Assume,
Something like that, and we
assume competency always.
Assume
Assume
competency, and we keep thinking that we should keep doing things to these patients, but we should be able to do things with the patient. So,
Nice, yeah.
in
Nice.
return to activities of daily living, there's toileting, there's dressing, there's grooming, yung pag-makeup natin.
Yeah.
Even if there's spasticity, how can I put on my mascara? This thing that does not make me look like a tired
Yeah.
witch or something. For bathing, how can I put my loofah on my arm? How can I shampoo my hair? So all those things we target, and we consider two things. We consider two approaches, and there's compensatory, wherein we make up for the lost skill by environmental modifications or assistive devices, anything we can work around. Like, kung hindi kaya ito na lang.
Yeah.
But there's also restorative, or kung kaya pa makuha yung skill na yun, we will do everything to get there. And there's this other way that we look at patients with TBI, wherein there was a loss with the incident, a loss in roles, in the family, in work,
Right.
in our small social circles. There will be a loss of roles, and we acknowledge that. So we like to do these activities with them. So actual tasks. So we've had the opportunity to do ordering from Grab, or ordering from, do not say brands, restaurants. Engaging with the cashier.
Right.
And for moderate severe, engaging with our family, our loved ones in the dinner table, where usually, kasi I like bring this up, why do we isolate the patient from the family dinner table?
Yeah.
They should
I
be,
agree.
that's where the eating, the ADL happens. And another thing for that is also not widely known ADL is sexual activity.
Yeah.
And people don't really know that this is actually under OT's domain. It's one of the more emerging practices, and it's interesting how wholesome and holistic it is. And like, kasi when you say about what do you call that, the population, usually the younger adults, right? It's something that they engage in, and it is an ADL, and we will target it with the most utter respect and professionalism
Yeah.
it demands, and should be, so everything that you were, we will try to get back to it, but in the safest way possible,
Yeah.
in the most functional way possible. So,
Wow.
wow, that was a lot.
Nakaka-pressure naman, guys.
It shows, I think,
It's wonderful.
it shows
Yeah,
that we
it's
really do
great.
have, each of us, we really do have passion for this. So,
I feel the
Ma'am-
care. No, I do. I feel the care.
So,
Yeah.
Ma'am Becca,
What?
what certain areas, can you tell us, do speech and language pathologists
Get
target
ready.
with patients?
I'm kidding. You know what? This is so exciting because I feel like in the area of traumatic brain injury, with everything you've all discussed, with everything Dr. mentioned, speech and language pathology is it's really quite vital. Like I can really look at it and be like, wow, it's really quite important. And it's so important that we all are together in it also.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give an example about it later. But in speech and language pathology, the best way I can put it is that when your cognitive functions are disrupted. So what are the cognitive functions? Attention, memory, perception, even right down to sensation. If any of those cognitive functions are disrupted, it's almost 100% automatic that your language functions will be disrupted. And so a disruption in your cognitive functions will automatically cause some kind of change in your language, whether that's how much you're talking, what you're talking about, how you're... So communication isn't just speaking, no, it's also your facial expressions even, your gestures, how you respond, how you comprehend. Ma'am Ver mentioned earlier about how sometimes one word is better, and that's sometimes true. Sometimes patients with traumatic brain injuries, depending on the severity of the traumatic brain injury, families will say, "Di na siya nagsasalita, he's not talking anymore." Even if he can. You talk to the patient, one-word responses. Other families naman, the patient will not stop. Like, tuloy-tuloy, he talks about what we call I think confabulations. Parang some things that family can't understand. How come the patient is saying things that are not true? Like, he's lying. And then it's very hard for the family to understand, why is he lying? It's sometimes it can be quite hurtful, the way that someone is communicating, especially coming from where how they communicated before. And so we think of our populations we were talking about. So imagine if someone, a young person who used to like making cuento, talking a lot, suddenly just doesn't want to speak.
To you anymore.
Yeah, it's really quite like it's really unnerving.
Jarring.
It's jarring. And I really like what you mentioned earlier about just something as simple as sitting the patient up. If that's a goal, sometimes that's when we come in. Because when you're lying down for so long,
Yeah.
and you're looking at the same thing for so long, and then people are just talking around you, doing things to you, that disorientation just increases, no? And then you start to become really hostile because you're wondering, like, what's happening to me?
Yeah. You're hearing all these voices around, but
Yeah.
like, nobody's sitting you up.
No one's sitting
that's
you up
true.
to talk. So sometimes I've noticed that when our patients who have traumatic brain injuries, when they sit up, then I can go face to face with them and I start asking them questions. That's when things really start happening.
Aw.
Yeah, it's wonderful because sometimes they sit up for the very first time, and then sometimes I feel bad for them because the first face they see is mine. It's like whoosh, and then there I am, and then and I think the management of patients with traumatic brain injury, like, it has to be very careful and very, very individualized, like all therapy, but it has to be so personalized because when you really, really think about it, our identities are so tied, the same way they're tied into how we move and what we do and what we find meaningful. They're so tied into how we communicate, how we speak. You can imagine how jarring it might be for the patient themselves to talk and feel like I'm not myself, which may cause some hostility in the person, no? Because I mean, you already don't feel right, and then someone's in front of you asking you, "What's your name? Where do you live? How old are you?" And that person's usually me. So, so we have to be very careful and find ways to make things meaningful for a person. So exactly like you said, rather than talking about things or like really doing things. I had a patient before, all they really wanted to do was play cards. So that's what we did. We played cards, and then that's when they started to talk to me, and their personality started to come out, and you're like, oh, it makes you think about yourself. What would they bring to me in the hospital if they wanted to make me like, myself again? I think, oh, scrapbooking. It makes you really think, It makes you really think.
Self-reflection.
Self-reflection. And if you have to really put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Yeah.
So, in terms of speech therapy, we do a lot. Sometimes we target the cognitive domain individually. So, for example, if it's very, very obvious that the person needs help with attention, specifically attention, sometimes we can target just attention or just memory. But a lot of the time, it's more comprehensive, and we really do it within activities we're targeting. Attention, memory, perception, all at the same time.
Yeah.
So, speech and language pathology, it's tied into the person's identity and how they communicate and how we can help them do that as themselves. So it's very important that we also know what their personality is really like, even before we met them. Because
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can tell I talk a lot. Sometimes I'm talking to the patient, yeah, and then I'm thinking to myself, oh, they're not talking. Yun pala, the wife will say, ma'am, quiet type po yan. Di po siya nagsasalita.
Man of few words.
Man of few words. I say, oh, okay. Yun pala. So, so the personality of the person is the most important thing also. Because I think a common denominator with everything we said is the identity of the person as well. And what were you saying? Maximal functional independence.
Yes.
Let me add maximal functional independence and connection.
Oh,
wow.
Thank you. And I thank
that was
you.
a teamwork.
Thank you, Parm. Yun.
So, yeah. I guess with what Becca said, it's an interesting thing that you have to know yung identity or yung
Yeah.
personality ng person. So, I guess this is where it comes in yung caregivers or yung mga
Yeah.
people around them, companions and family. So, Doc, if there's anything about that, parang what do you think are yung responsibilities ng mga caregivers or
Yeah.
families ng mga patients with TBI?
Okay, so first of all, no, they have questions.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
They want you to address. So yung anxiety. So first of all, you have to recognize, no, yung concerns nila, no, where they're coming from, no, kung ano yung mga issues nila, no, and then you have to educate. No, you tell them about the patient's condition. That it's a very complex, issue na condition na we need to address, no, because it's not just physical, eh.
Yeah.
Yun na nga, affected din ng personality, eh. So that's where you have to engage yung family and caregivers kasi doon mo malalaman ano ba siya dati. Kasi hindi naman niya sasabihin.
Yeah, hindi
diba?
naman. That's true.
Parang ano ba yung hobbies niya, no? So they have to be very engaged, no? Yun.
That's right. That's right. That's so true. I think it's a big role. It, like you said, it can be heavy, you know? It can be heavy, but in that moment, I mean, like for all of our patients, the person they need the most is their family, their
Yeah.
support system. No.
And sila yung kakampi natin, no? So that the
That's
patients
right,
will
right.
adhere to
To
our
the
plans,
exercises.
na, to our
That's
rehab
right,
plans,
that's
no?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wait, for Doctor, that's the parang how to empower the family who's already living with the patient with TBI. How about for when it happens, when the incident happens? What should the people around them do? Like right after the fall, right after the
Incident.
incident.
Yeah,
mismo.
if you experience a fall or your
witness.
Yeah.
witness, no, especially if yung elderly, no,
Yeah.
you have to seek immediate medical attention just to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right there, when they see them in the floor, what
Ah.
should they do?
Like,
Oh,
Kaya,
nga. Is there
Yan.
something you do?
I think you
immobilize the head or
Oh, it all depends
the-
on the mechanism or type
Okay,
of
yeah.
injury. Yeah, definitely, no. You have to check for responsiveness.
yes.
no?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and you have to observe for up to golden period is 3
Yeah.
days, diba? So, yun,
Wow.
for
And
always
stay
persistent
by their
headache,
side.
Yeah.
persistent headache, dizziness, nausea, and yun, sleep disturbances. So, you have to watch out for those symptoms na pwede
Yeah.
mangyari. No?
Mm-mm.
I think another important thing then with families and caregivers would be, na-mention nyo to kanina, Doc, yung goals or like expectation setting. Is there anything na parang relatives or caregivers of patients with TBI parang or not necessarily yung may mga patients pero like if it does happen something na parang with expectation or goal setting kasi sobrang broad ng
Yeah.
TBI, 'di ba? So baka mamaya ayaw naman natin na iwan na yung after listening to this podcast na
Yeah.
natatakot sila.
Yes,
Oo, that's
with
true.
with TBI na parang, oh my gosh, end of the world na to for
Yeah.
for their loved one na naka-experience ng TBI, which isn't the case. Kasi
Yeah.
we've seen so many people na na
Recover.
naka-recover naman and stuff. So like expectation in terms of that.
So we really have to explain, no?
Yeah.
Yun, educate, no? Set realistic goals, no? If ito yung problem list, ito yung problem ng patient, we'll explain our rehab intervention,
Okay.
no? And it's very important na mag-adhere yung patient and the family also.
Yes,
no?
that's true.
And yun, emotional support, no? And
Yeah,
physical,
yeah.
and of course we give coping strategies,
Opo.
no?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just goes to show na the management of TBI is very individualized talaga.
Yes.
As with any
Like,
rehab
yeah.
naman, diba?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
if there's anything na if there's anything to be remembered with managing ng TBI, there's not one size fits all. For
Yes,
sure.
yes, it's true.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
And there's always gonna be kaya it's very important to go to have it checked. Kasi very individualized. Baka hindi naman pala kailangan ng comprehensive care or baka kailangan pala niya ng
Yes.
comprehensive
But
care.
better safe to know than be sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Dahil nga walang one size fits all, at least the doctors would be able to check on you and to tell
Yeah, and refer to us.
you to us needed
Yeah.
or sino neuro
Neuro.
Yeah,
yeah.
neuro first.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
With all that's
yes.
been said, I think we've gone very full depth into the management and the care of the rehab team. Here we
Yes.
are for you. But really, what we want you to get from this whole podcast is prevention is better than cure.
Course.
Yes.
Of course.
So,
You have to follow safety precautions, no?
Yeah.
Protect your brain, wear helmets, no?
Yes.
Biking or riding motorcycles.
Protect your brain.
Use seatbelts in vehicles, no?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
prevent falls, no? By ensuring a safe environment at home and at work. No?
Yeah. I guess yung interesting thing with that, kasi sa elderly, di ba, may mga risk for fall talaga. So parang if you know if they're at risk for fall, edi
Prevention.
prevent nyo na kaagad na mag-modify. Either pwedeng yung room nila nasa first
Yes.
floor na lang or yung sa CR may ano ang tawag dun? Yung sa slip,
Anti-skid.
anti-skid.
Yes.
Sorry, I got it both wrong. So, anti-skid
suggestion.
na ano. So, just few modifications of the environment would help. If you already know they're at risk. Syempre, kung
Yeah.
halimbawa, kung athlete ka,
yes.
there's
Protective gear.
yeah, protective gear, and also we have this thing sa not necessarily sports pero sa PTs, parang if you're at risk for fall, knowing how to fall.
Yes.
Yes.
That's something they should
falling,
teach us.
falling techniques.
Yes, falling
Yes.
techniques.
Slowly and carefully.
Pero like, it's just also just, well, since I'm not an athlete, I can't contribute to that conversation, but it's even just the risk of rushing, no?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
just
Driving.
Just rushing when you drive, rushing when you're going down the stairs,
Oh, yeah.
doing two things at the same time.
Yes.
The risk of just rushing through your day, which is so we do that all the time. We do that all the
We
time.
did that today.
We did that today, you know? So it's also just the risk of rushing through your day, whether you're driving, walking, carrying a child, like anything. So just rushing, I don't know.
And
I
to
think
add
also.
that we are also in the Filipino context, we're a very social
Yeah,
country. Let's
yeah.
just take care of each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's take care of our elderly. Let's
Yeah.
always never leave them alone. Let's stay with our children. Baby-proof the whole
Yeah.
place and
Really.
everything. It's just really alagaan natin ang isa't isa.
Yes.
Right?
Amen. I love
That
it.
came from me.
Yeah.
So
I love it. And if you want to learn more about the services that we offer for anything and specifically with traumatic brain injuries, feel free and please be welcome to visit or call the Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation Department of the Medical City, local number 6240 or 6241.
So to our audience, please wear helmets when biking or riding motorcycles, use seatbelts in vehicles, and prevent falls by ensuring This is what Dr. said.
Yeah.
A safe environment at home and work. Avoid
And
risky
exercise.
behaviors.
Oh,
Exercise.
yes.
And
Strengthen your
Learning to
muscles.
fall
Always,
well.
Always stay aware of your surroundings po,
Mm-mm.
and prioritize safety to reduce the risk of brain injury.
That's right.
A moment of caution can prevent a lifetime of challenges.
Yes.
Yes.
We talked, we discussed, and we conquered. That's it for our 5th episode of this video podcast series on the topic of brain injury. Thanks for joining us on Rehab to Talk. I'm Chill, your occupational therapist.
And I'm Vern, your physical therapist.
And I'm Becca, your speech language pathologist. Thank you so much again, Doc, for coming here and discussing this topic. And would you like to do the honors? Thanks for tuning in to
Rehab to Talk.
Brought to you by the Medical City Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation Center.
Here we doff the scrubs.
Come together to discuss relevant topics to rehabilitation.
And take interprofessional collaboration out of the clinic and into the studio.
Goodbye!